Hello everyone, welcome to another video. You guys can tell by the packages in the back, we are doing another book mail video. I was about to say I don't know how this happened. I know exactly how this happened. The majority of these packages are from when I panic bought on Book Depository once I found out it was closing. I'm sure a lot of us did some damage when we found out that very sad news. It also means that we get a book haul today. This video is going to be very, very casual. As you can see, we don't have very many like big boxes. I haven't done any kind of like massive book orders recently, so we just have a whole lot of little packages, and I know that you guys really love these book unboxing videos, so I thought why not do another one. Let's just get straight into it. I will say this one will be my last one for a while. I probably won't be doing another one of these until maybe the end of the year, with the exception of my birthday, of course. I have to buy books around my birthday, but this is probably gonna be the last one for a while, so I do apologize if these are your favorite videos of mine. Enough rambling, let's just get into some of these packages. Majority of them are from Book Depository. There will be some from Blackwell's, which is a website that I've recently discovered, which is kind of like the new Book Depository equivalent. And then I think there's like at least one Amazon package here, which I have been holding on to for a really long time. I feel like we should start with this pile right here. First package. I think this one arrived at my house today, and I was like, okay, enough's enough. I have a big enough stack of books waiting to be opened. Let's film this video. Okay, so this one is from Book Depository. I did buy the whole set. I'm not sure if this is the first book in the series, but this series is a super popular romance series at the moment. Oh, this is the third one. So don't worry guys, I have also got the other books in the series in one of these packages. But this is Powerless by Elsie Silva, and this is the third book in the Chestnut Springs series. This is a series of romance novels which I'm seeing get so hyped up at the moment. I know that all the main characters are like cowboys. I've read like one cowboy romance in my time, and I actually had a pretty fun time with it. I liked the setting, and it's so far removed from like my reality. Like, we do not really have those all-American cowboys in New Zealand, obviously. So it's a really fun kind of like escapism kind of romance novel. Oh my god, I'm not gonna lie, this one sounds amazing. It looks like everything that I want in a romance novel. It's childhood best friends, two lovers, road trip romance. The male love interest is a hockey player. Stop, literally like all my favorite tropes. Okay, I'm really excited to read this series, if not specifically just to get to this one. Let's open the next package. This one is a bit skinnier, so it might be a smaller book. I'm not totally sure. Yeah, okay, this is another pretty hyped up book that I've seen, and I really want to do a video where I read really sad books, and this is one that has kept popping up. And it is The Last Time We Say Goodbye by Cynthia Hand. I bought this on Book Depository because when I did my panic buying, the majority of the books that I bought were ones that I have on my Amazon wish list that weren't available on Amazon anymore. And so I was like, okay, I'll see if Book Depository has them. And sure enough, because Book Depository had everything, RIP, this was one of the books that I purchased. This, I believe, is a YA novel about a teenage girl whose brother commits suicide, and she's really dealing with the aftermath of that. I believe she has a secret about her brother in the form of like a text message he sent her before he died, and she's kind of holding on to that secret, and it might be just making life a little bit harder for her. Like, she feels very alone and very isolated after this really tragic event. But like I said, I really want to do a reading vlog where I read really sad books, and I feel like this one would be a great candidate for that video. So yeah, really happy to have this in my hands now. Okay, this one feels a bit heavier, so there might be more than one book in here, or it might be a really, I don't know, big book. I'm not sure. It is a heavier book. Another Book Depository purchase, and it's a hardback of a book that I discovered when I was doing my 2023 anticipated releases video, and I was like, I've not heard anyone talk about this, but it sounds really fun, and it is Midnight Strikes by Zeba Shahanas. This is a YA fantasy novel about our main character who really wants to go to this ball, but when she goes, there's this massive explosion, and then she is stuck in a time loop of her going to that ball over and over again, and she has to try and break the time loop. I fucking love time travel stories. I love time loop stories, so this one sounds really good. I'm also really getting into my YA fantasy era, like yet again, at the age of 26, nearly 27. Who would have thought? Super excited to read this one because it sounds sounds so good. Having like YA hardbacks like this really takes me back to like 2019, and honestly, I'm so not complaining. Okay, let's move on to the next package. Okay, I think, yeah, we've got another Chestnut Springs book. We have Heartless, which I believe is book number 2. Obviously another in the Chestnut Springs series, so another cowboy romance. I believe this one is age gap and single dad tropes. And I believe our main character is falling for her boss. Like the male love interest is her boss. So this one will be very interesting. Powerless definitely sounds more exciting than Heartless to me, but of course I'm still excited to read all of them. I did a reading vlog on the Twisted series by Ana Huang, which was one of the first reading vlogs I've done where I read like a whole series in one vlog, and I really enjoyed that one, so I really want to do another one on another series, and I was thinking of doing Chestnut Springs. I don't know if the series is finished yet, that's the only thing, but I still could do it. Now that I have the books in my hands, let me know if you guys are interested. But yeah, really excited to read this book as well. Next we have this Amazon package here. This one is a really old package that I've had in my possession for a long time, just waiting for a video like this. And this one, I believe there's a few books in here. Of course, let's open it up. Okay, yeah, there's 3 books in here. So first of all, we have Rules for Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. I'm really into my thrillers at the moment. Like, I just love them, and I'm really looking forward to reading more of Peter Swanson's backlist, because he has written one of my favorite thrillers of all time, which is The Kind Worth Killing. It literally mentions the secret history on the back of this book. Sorry. Top of the TBR. Okay, I feel like this will definitely be spoiling like a whole bunch of murder mysteries out there, but I believe this is about a book blogger who one time made a blog post of his 8 favorite murders in murder mystery novels, and then now he is under investigation because there is a killer out there who is reenacting all of the murders on his list. Why did I not? That was not on the Amazon page when I was buying this book. I just bought this because it was a Peter Swanson backlist, which I want to read, and now this better not disappoint me. This better not disappoint me. The reference to my favorite book of all time. I'm excited to read this. This is now top of the TBR list. Wow. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, and then the next 2 books in here are part of a series, and I read the first book in this series in a 24-hour readathon recently, and I rated that book 3 stars, but it was still like fun. Like, it was a fun time, and it made me want to continue the series, to be honest. Like, it was interesting enough. So I got Stone Cold Touch and Every Last Breath by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is a YA urban fantasy series, and we follow our main character who is half gargoyle, which are like the protectors of the city, and then half demon, which are obviously considered evil. And there's a bit of a love triangle in the first book, so I believe we're going to follow that love triangle throughout the series. But also it's just about our main character like wrestling both sides of herself, like which one she feels more connected to and which one is more like morally correct. I'm really excited to continue the series because there was a big plot twist at the end of the first book, and I had a good time reading it. So these 2 I definitely want to get to very soon. Okay, let's move on to the next pile. Here we have another skinny little book. Let's open up this one. Oh, this one is so cute. Okay, so it is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. I've been getting really into really whimsical stories recently, and this one definitely looks like another one of those. This cover also is so freaking beautiful. I'm not even sure if you can see or if that's in focus. This is a retelling of a famous Korean legend, and basically we follow our main character who lives in this town where there is this sea god who is looking for his beloved, and every year there are some ravaging storms that are really dangerous, and he takes a girl from their town who he thinks is his beloved, and it never is. And then one day our main character, someone close to her, is chosen, and she's obviously distraught and she throws herself in instead. So now she's like underwater in this fantasy town just trying to save her people. It looks really good, really whimsical. In the blurb it compares it to Spirited Away, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. So anything that's described as like a Ghibli film, I'm really keen to read. So this one does look really good. Okay, next package. This one is from Bookie Books. I love Bookie Books. If you are new to my channel, it is my favorite indie online bookstore, which is New Zealand based in my country, and basically every month I just like to go through their like new additions to their site and just like have a little explore and a browse and pick up things that I think look like very up my alley. And obviously this month was no exception. I found some books that I'm really interested in. Another bookmark to add to the collection. I have about 20 of these, but they're always so beautifully wrapped. So I got 2 books this time around. First of all, I got Brutes by Dizzy Tate. This is a literary fiction coming of age novel set in Florida. There's a group of 13-year-old girls who are obsessed with this other older teenage girl in their town, and then one day she goes missing. So they try and find her, I believe, and it's all very intense and literary and very coming of age. I believe our girls are going to go through something very intense. So this book definitely looked very up my alley and I really wanted to give it a go. And then next we have a book by an Australian author which I thought looked really good, and that is Search History by Amy Taylor. This is a novel about a woman who is basically just navigating the world of online dating and dating apps. She meets a man who she gets obsessed with, and she realizes this new boyfriend of hers actually has an ex-girlfriend who tragically died. So now she's like absolutely obsessed with this ex-girlfriend as well, constantly looking at like her old social media, and she just falls into this really toxic kind of web of obsession and just not feeling like she can ever live up to the girl from her boyfriend's past. So it definitely looks really interesting. I love books about modern dating, especially when they're not necessarily like super romantic, like happy ending kind of rom-com style. I do love when it's a little bit more literary and we dive right into, I guess, the human mind when it comes to dating, especially in the modern world. So I'm really excited to read this. It looks really good, and I love reading things from Australian and New Zealand authors, so really excited to read this one as well. Okay, next package, I believe from Book Depository. Also, let's take a bet that this is the first book in the Chestnut Springs series. It's not. Okay, it's another book that I want to read for my sad books video. This is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan, I'm not sure, but this is another book that I've seen so many people describe as very heartbreaking, and I've wanted to read it for a long time, but it's never been available on like any of the websites that I usually shop at. So Book Depository came through and I bought this one. This is another heartbreaking YA read. I believe our 2 main characters were like best friends and then grew apart. I believe maybe there is like a romance that happens, I'm not sure, but I know that it's very, very sad. Like, I've seen so many videos of people sobbing to this book. So you know what? Maybe I'm just gonna go and create one of those videos myself. So really excited to read this. You guys know I love being emotionally tortured by books, and I really hope that this one emotionally tortures me as much as it did to everyone else who's read it. Okay, another Book Depository package. Okay, we have another YA fantasy, I believe. This is Daughter of the Burning City by Amanda Foodie. This one has been highly recommended to me so many times, and I think it's because it's set at a circus, a traveling circus. And books that have circus settings, they are always my favorites. I absolutely love them. I believe our main character is a 16-year-old girl who works with like illusion magic, and she creates illusions, and then I think something terrible happens to her magic, so she has to do some investigating really around the circus and what has happened to her magic. So I'm really excited to read this. I do genuinely love circus novels, and I'm keen to get into another fantasy. Another Book Depository package, I assume. I should probably just stop saying that, because let's assume now they're all from Book Depository. Finally, here we go. We have Flawless by Elsie Silva, the first book in the Chestnut Springs series. This is the one that I've heard most people talk about because it's the first book in the series, but I believe our main character is like a bull rider. I don't really know what that means. I'm not a cowgirl. I'm assuming he rides bulls. But anyway, he is like a bit of a bad boy. He keeps getting in trouble. And so his agent like gives him this babysitter, essentially, this woman to watch over him. That's her new job. And I believe a romance sparks up between the two of them. So I'm really excited to give this one a go. I'm definitely most excited for the third one in the series, but I've heard so many good things about the series, so many good things about the writing, and I've never read an Elsie Silva romance before. So is it silly of me to buy like the full series before even reading the first one? Maybe it is, but like, I'm a sucker for beautiful matching romance covers in a series. So I don't know, I'm a book collector. I own my own little library and I want to own these. Another package, let's open this one up. This one is not from Book Depository. Okay, this one is from Blackwell's. I wanted to test out the service, and the shipping was actually relatively fast, and they had also a really good selection. So I'm really excited to know that now. So that is like a Book Depository replacement. But I got 7 Faceless Saints by M.K. Lobb. This was another book that was in my most anticipated 2023 releases video. I don't know much about this novel, but it is apparently a murder mystery inside a fantasy book, so I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to explore a new fantasy world, and I've heard really beautiful things about this one, so again, another fantasy for me to explore. I'm really excited. Okay, I believe this one will also be from Blackwell's then as well, because I did order 2 books, and I know what this one is. I do remember, and I'm really excited. This is a series I've been wanting to read for ages, and it is A Curious Beginning by Deanna Raybourn, and this is the first book in the Veronica Speedwell mystery series. A series of historical, like, murder mysteries, I think, or just mysteries, I'm not sure, but I've heard so many people talk about this. It's a really long series, and I'm dying to get into it. Most notably, I've heard Kayla from Books and Lala talk about this the most, and I love her videos. Even if our book taste sometimes does not align, I still have gotten some really good recommendations from her channel, and I am sure this is going to be another really good recommendation. I've heard it's really amusing, really good mysteries, and there is a bit of a romance on the side as well, so of course I'm really excited to get into this one. And guys, we have our last package. This is so sad. This is always the saddest part of the video when we get to our last package. Of course, we have another book that was an anticipated 2023 release for me, and that is Missing Clarissa by Ripley Jones. This is a YA mystery thriller, which has fast become one of my favorite genres ever since I read the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I absolutely love these sorts of books, and I'm excited to read this one. This one actually sounds very similar to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Basically, this girl went missing in the 90s, and 20 years later, 2 best friends decide to start a true crime podcast to kind of solve this mystery of what happened. It definitely sounds very similar, but I really loved that book, so I don't mind reading books that are very similar. I'm really excited to get into this one. I've never read anything by Ripley Jones before. I don't actually know if she's a debut author or not. Oh! I just opened up, and on the naked book, on the hardcover, it says, "Some questions don't have pretty answers." Okay, very mysterious. Anyway, I'm excited to get to this, and it looks really fun. So these are all the books that I have bought recently. Let me know if you've spotted any favorites in there, what you think I should prioritize. Obviously, I love filming these videos for you guys, but honestly, I think I need to slow down because my library is expanding very, very quickly. But yeah, I know you love them, so this is probably the last one until my birthday. And then until Christmas. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. A reminder that all my socials are linked down below, including my Bookstagram and also my Patreon if you do want more exclusive content from me. But yeah, that's all for this video. I love you all so much, and I will see you very soon in the next one.